You know what it's like. You've got an important deadline to meet, but somehow you find yourself on your smartphone, watching TV, wasting time in a million different ways. You're procrastinating. You're a spectator in your own life. You can't even get started on the things that you really want to do. Let's work out how to overcome that today in this episode. Okay, so how do we focus? How, when we've got something important to do, or when we want to get started on our dream project, our someday dream, how is it that we can focus and concentrate and really attend to the things that we need to be doing and not find ourselves at the end of a 3-hour scroll fest on our phone, various different apps and time-wasting exercises. You know, we find it so difficult, don't we, to concentrate and focus, to have that laser focus on the things that matter, because so often what we do is we focus on the ththings that are happening right now. You know, I've talked before about how our brain is wired to avoid pain and to pursue pleasure. You know, there was a concept in the 60s called the triune brain. Now, physiologically, if you scan your brain, there aren't 3 sections. But in terms of sensory input, it does bear out. You know, there's the kind of reptile brain, there's the instinctive primal drives that we have to eat, to propagate, to feel good, and to meet our immediate physical needs. There's the kind of the mammal brain, the monkey brain, the brain that just wants comfort and emotional and sensory pleasure, and just wants to enjoy life and not do anything that's too taxing. And then there's that the kind of higher level thinking, the intellectual, the rational brain that says, no, if I've got a deadline in 3 months' time, I should probably make a start today and not the night before. I pulled a number of all-nighters at university, so I'm highly experienced in prioritising comfort over what's really important. So what are some ways in which we can overcome our brain's desire to do what's easy and what's restful and what's enjoyable, and actually get the things done and that we really actually want to do, that are going to push forwards our dreams and take us closer to that someday destination? Well, I just want to offer you then 3 B's to help you to focus and to nip procrastination in the bud. Now, you won't always do it, but hopefully on the days that you do, you're going to take yourself that little bit further forwards and towards your goals. And the first B is brain. Now, I've already touched on that. We have this brain that wants to do its own thing. So how do we overcome that? Well, the first thing we can do is we can get blood to the brain. We can get out, we can walk, we can exercise. It's been shown that if you exercise, you are more able to concentrate, and your cognitive ability increases. So you know, your body is a machine, your brain is a machine. If you can start your day with some level of exercise, even if it's a walk around the block, you're going to get blood to the brain, and you're going to make it easier to focus and to concentrate. How do you calm down? How do you keep your anxiety and panic in check when procrastination has got the better of you? Well, one way you can do it is by breathing rhythmically, evenly, and through the heart. So you literally count 5, take a breath in for 5, and then a breath in, and then a breath out for 5. In, 3, 4, 5, out, 3. And simply by doing that, by regulating your breathing, you know, people often say, take deep breaths, take deep breaths. It's not about that, actually. There's a video called Being Brilliant Every Day. You'll find it on YouTube. And there the professor connects this guy to an ECG, and you can see how when he's being put in a stressful situation, doing, I think, algebra, or doing some counting backwards or something under pressure, his heart rate starts to rise, and he starts to go into that fight or flight. His frontal lobe is shutting down, and he's not thinking clearly to do these simple equations in his head. And the only way you can do that is to begin to force his body to relax and to get oxygen to his brain. So some of these things sound really simple, but they're so helpful. If you're going to do public speaking, for example, the best thing you can do moments before you get up is to effectively override those anxiety mechanisms in your body by breathing, just taking long, slow, even breaths. 5 in, 5 out. And just do that a few times until your system almost resets and you're more in control and that higher level thinking can kick in again. So breathing. So that's the first one. Brain. Get blood to the brain. Get oxygen to the brain. That's really going to help you if you're wanting to focus and get things done. And the next one is barriers. How do we eliminate the barriers that are actually stopping us from achieving what we want? Now, these can be barriers in your environment. They can be the TV, the smartphone within reaching distance. When I'm working, it may sound crazy, but I leave my phone where I can't see it. I put it in my pocket. I put it behind my laptop. Simply by seeing your phone, that's creating a distraction. And remember, that little instant gratification monkey is desperate to be distracted from the more important but dull thing that you're meant to be doing. So if there's a more attractive alternative on offer, you are going to find it difficult to concentrate. So you have to get rid of, one way or another, either get it out of your physical space, hide it, move it so you can't get it. So get rid of that attractive distraction alternative and get rid of the barriers that are causing you to lack concentration. That can be a physical object. Sometimes it can just be your own self-talk, your own inner monologue. When I'm at the gym, for example, every few sets I can hear my inner self-talk going, that's probably enough. I mean, you're tired, it's been a long day, or you've worked hard, you don't need the extra sets that you were going to plan to do. And I just drown it out with music, if I'm honest. I'm not even clever enough and disciplined enough to change the self-talk. So obviously I'm trying to be positive in the situation, but I just stick on some really motivating high-tempo music and I turn it up loud in my earphones and I just drown out all of the excuses. I mean, procrastination, the mother of procrastination is the excuse, isn't it? I would do that now, but this, I would have gone for my dream. I would have started that podcast, started that band, started writing that book, started saving for that holiday or that trip or traveling, but excuse. What are the excuses right now? What are the buts that are playing out? And you just find yourself thinking, hang on, who's playing this track in my head? Who's deciding this self-talk? Because it's those excuses that are going to hold you back. And those excuses are certainly not coming from that high-level rational thinking, are they? They're coming from keep it simple, choose comfort, take the easy path, the wide road, not the narrow road that takes you where you want to go. One of the biggest excuses that we will have is that we're not good enough, that we're not ready. I'll start when I'm ready. I'll start when I've got more money. I'll start when I've got more time. I'll start when I've got more qualifications. And the truth is, let me break it to you, you're never going to have more time. You're never going to feel qualified enough. That's why you've got to start today, not tomorrow. You've got to start right now. It's been said that perfection is the enemy of good. The best is the enemy of good. Confucius said, better a diamond with a flaw than a pebble without. It's often true of parenting as well. You think that you have to be perfect, and actually you just have to be good enough. Someone who's doing is better, who is a 7 out of 10 is still better than someone who's not doing, who's a 10 out of 10. So take what you have and put it to work. final B then is blocking, or blocking out time. The truth is, we don't all sit down at a laptop or at a piece of paper or a canvas incredibly inspired and full of creativity and ideas and overflowing with, all these creative energies. The truth is, sometimes it's more perspiration than it is inspiration. And it's the discipline of sitting down every day at the same time every day and making a start. I was fortunate enough to be involved in writing a small book. And there were times when I came to that process, especially early on, as I've talked about before, I was incredibly enthusiastic and the ideas were flowing and it hung together in my mind. And then there were times during the end where you're like, I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know where this is going next. I've forgotten how to spell the word the, and you just have to, it's not writer's block as such, but you have to push on through the days when you don't feel like doing it. If you're training for a marathon, there are days when it's raining and cold outside. You still got to put your trainers on and get outside and go. So block the time out and use blocking in your diary. Use physical space in your day. So if you know you're going to be low energy and find it difficult to focus and concentrate in the afternoon, then put anything creative in the morning. It's not rocket science, is it? I always make sure I put my most creative sessions and meetings earlier on in the day, 10, 11 o'clock. That's when I can give them my best. That's when I'm going to bring something hopefully fresh to it. And then if I've got other meetings, things where I'm part of a team and I've got others to motivate me and help me construct my thoughts, then I'll put those things in the afternoon. That's just how I work. And the same goes for my week or my month. I put my priorities in the diary first. My recreation, my recreating time, my relaxing time goes in first. My holidays go in for the year. My family time goes in for the month. My date nights go in for the weeks. You put those in first, you protect them. And equally, if I want to do things that are creative, like recording this podcast, I find a slot in my week when I know that will fit. And I try not to miss that date with myself. If you don't block those things out, and a good tip is actually to have a little bit where you can, a little bit of leeway in your diary. But, pencil in some time each week for the stuff that's going to come up and distract you from the important things. So if you have in an hour or an hour or two, let's say on a Thursday afternoon, then when you run out of time, as you obviously will each week because of the stuff that comes up that you don't expect, you can use that buffer, and then when it gets to Friday, you can still work on that thing you were hoping to work on. So, factor in a little bit of give, a little bit of a leeway for the unexpected tasks that come up in a week, and make sure it's your priorities that are driving how you block time out. It's really important to make sure that you've got boundaries and frameworks. The more you can add, especially someone like me who's not naturally disciplined, the more you can put a framework and a routine in place. On a Tuesday night, I go to the gym. I do it if I feel like it. I do it when I don't feel like it. It's a routine, it's a discipline, it's a framework. On let's say a Monday night, that's a be at home night. That's when I chill out. That's when I get my energy back. Try and create these rhythms and routines, and you're going to find it easier within that framework, within those boundaries, to be creative and to have the space to do the things that are going to make your someday a reality. Please do rate this wherever you find it, whether that's on Apple, on your phone or iPad, whether it's on Google Podcast, on the Android platform, whether it's Spotify. If you can rate it, it just helps other people find it. And please do subscribe, obviously, so that you don't miss future episodes. Share it. Take a second. It takes 3 seconds to click subscribe, to click 5 stars, 4.5 stars, and to share it maybe on Facebook or Twitter or wherever you share things. And it's going to be hugely helpful. I'm just starting out here, and anything you can do to help, as hopefully I'm helping you, is hugely appreciated. So until next time, make someday today, and I wish you well in pursuing your dreams.